What's up, everybody? Time for the first installment of the What If Naruto Chronicles. Stay tuned. Alright, so the topic of this story is Hiruzen Sarutobi. But what do we really know about the third Hokage? And more importantly, how much of a part would he have played in Naruto if he wouldn't have died into the hands of Orochimaru? So that's what this video is going to talk about. It's going to be a bit of headcanon, and it's crazy that I haven't seen too many videos on YouTube discussing this, but here I go. So let's start off with a little backstory. Hiruzen, or the third Hokage, is the teacher of Jiraiya, Orochimaru, and Tsunade, which is well known in the Narutoverse. But what is not more well known is that he is actually the student of Tobirama. And this plays a major part because before Tobirama went off to die at the hands of Inkaku and Ginkaku, he appointed Sarutobi as the third Hokage. Going forward, Sarutobi actually wanted Orochimaru to succeed him as the fourth Hokage, but unfortunately he couldn't see the will of fire in Orochimaru, and that is why Minato Namikaze ended up succeeding him. Naruto. What if Sakura was never trained by Tsunade? What if Kabuto had actually never even fought Tsunade in that village and Naruto never gained the crystal that was from the first Hokage? All of these things play a huge part because Naruto as a character and his character development actually would be, slighted greatly without the death of somebody in power, which caused a lot of people under him who were also affected by Hiruzen to show back up into the village. So Jiraiya fights Pain, and instead of Jiraiya fighting Pain by himself, it's Jiraiya and Tsunade versus the Six Paths of Pain, which I believe is definitely a different fight because Jiraiya and Tsunade could definitely defeat the Six Paths together if they worked correctly. So moving forward, Naruto never actually has to deal with the death of Jiraiya. Naruto never has to fight the Six Paths of Pain. Naruto never has to protect Konoha. It's never destroyed, which means that Kakashi also never becomes the sixth Hokage, which means, crazy enough, we're still on the third Hokage. There's still a place for the fifth Hokage, which ultimately I believe will be Kakashi instead of Tsunade, or maybe Jiraiya, because at that time he will have realized, getting so close to death with the Six Paths of Pain, even with Tsunade's help, that he needs to stay in the village. This is where the hypothetical really takes over because it's really uncharted territory as far as the storyline goes, because without the death of Jiraiya, what is fueling Naruto to grow and progress at that point other than to get Sasuke back to the village? There isn't really anything, and that's what makes this a tad bit difficult, but I'm going to try my best to give you a good story. Okay, so after the fight with Pain, where Tsunade and Jiraiya both go and fight him instead of Jiraiya going by himself, where they succeed in defeating him. Let's say Hiruzen becomes gravely ill, and that's when Jiraiya succeeds him as the fifth Hokage, not Tsunade. Going forward, Jiraiya goes to the Kage Summit That's where Jiraiya fights Sasuke along with the rest of the Kage. They completely stomp Sasuke. There's no getting around it at this point. It's not even a fight to be discussed any further. After the Kage Summit, everything is all the same, but at that point, Naruto has something to fuel him. The fact that his teacher is now the fifth Hokage instead of Tsunade and Kakashi becoming the sixth Hokage. That is his fuel. He's trying to surpass Jiraiya in every way possible. He gets his Sage Chakra. He realizes he becomes the child of prophecy, and everything continues as it was. Going into the war arc, of course, with Jiraiya still being alive, the fights are a little bit different because there's no third Hokage being reanimated because he's not dead yet. He's just gravely ill. So there's only 3 Hokages brought back with the Edo Tensei. Let's, for argument's sake, going forward, say that everything in the war arc actually goes the exact same way. And, it ends with Kaguya being defeated, Madara being defeated, and Obito and Jubito being defeated. And going forward into Boruto, that brings a whole nother avenue of different changes for the simple fact that Naruto still has Jiraiya, and Tsunade and Jiraiya, they actually fall in love. Let's make that a thing. And they actually do have a child going forward. When does Jiraiya actually step down becomes the real question. When does Naruto actually become Hokage? If Naruto becomes Hokage. At that point, after the war arc, yes, he is stronger than Jiraiya, but that does not always mean that you're Hokage. Yes, you might have the accolades, you might have the feats, but of course, there was a point in time where Tobirama knew that Sarutobi was in fact stronger than him, and he was the strongest person in the village, but he was not a Hokage yet. Just like for argument's sake, was Orochimaru actually stronger than Minato when Minato became the fourth Hokage? It depends on who you ask. It depends on the power scaling that you use. It depends on, a lot of different factors, and I believe personal opinion. Because, of course, Orochimaru was Hiruzen's favorite student, not Jiraiya, not Tsunade, which is why he wanted Orochimaru to be the next Hokage to begin with. We're going to go along and say that Jiraiya steps down around the same time that Kakashi actually stepped down, because of course, Naruto still has to become a Chunin and, progress through the ranks before he can even be considered, regardless of his strength. Because, Neji was actually strong enough to be a Chunin and knew Jonin level techniques at a Genin level, but he was still a Genin. So Naruto still has to progress through the ranks and move up. So Naruto does still marry Hinata. But for argument's sake, also, let's say Neji is actually still alive, which, becomes a whole different aspect of, everything in the war arc isn't exactly the same. But, of course, you can change whatever you want at this point because it's all headcanon. So Neji is still alive, which means that he finds somebody. He has the secondary branch of the Byakugan, and Himawari and Baruto are still a thing, but they now actually have somebody around their age to train with who also has the Byakugan. So going forward, the Gentle Fist and the Hyuga clan does live on. Of course, other than the stuff stated in the actual manga and the anime about, Mirin being his granddaughter, which is true. Konohamaru, of course, that's true. Asuna being his son is also true. All of this is true. But everything else is pretty much extreme headcanon. It's uncharted territory. Like I said, I haven't seen too many videos on it. but I decided to do one because I thought it was really cool that, what if he really did survive? What if Naruto progressed on a different pathway in life other than, having to deal with the death of Sarutobi and, Jiraiya having to deal with it and everything going forward. If you like this video, of course, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you want to see going forward. Thanks for watching.